Hello, hello. We are back. We're live. We're here with the last part of today's episode of Terra Nullius, the beginning of Season 5, the season premiere. And of course, what are we going to end the season premiere with but with a conversation with some people that we've been waiting to have a face-to-face conversation with for a very long time. So, Samuel just stumbled out of the brush, and he just stares at you, Ari.
Do I recognize it's him, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been a while, but it's him.
I mean, I think she, strokes Buck, one more time, right? And then she just, slowly starts, walking towards him. I think she, reaches out, touches shoulder, kind of in disbelief kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I think he kind of... Go ahead.
Yeah, just to touch him to see if he's real or not.
Yeah, and I think he does a similar thing, right? He reaches for the opposite, your arm is here and his arm goes over here and touches your shoulder. And then I think he just brings you in for a bear hug, and he's just I didn't even think that it was real, but you're here. And then he's just and he's just really happy. He pushes you away and just it's actually you.
Yeah, she kind of does the same thing. She reaches out to now touch his face.
Yeah.
She's just I can't believe that you're alive.
There's a lot to talk about, I think.
I haven't been this happy in a long time.
Oh, glad to know that I can still put a smile on your face.
You always put a smile on my face, Samuel.
Well, I try. The others don't actually know that we're intercepting you. I kind of led them in the wrong direction for a little bit, but they should be behind us shortly.
And she just smiles and says, I missed you.
And he just looks back and winks at you. And then he turns back and Cebu stumbles out of the brush as well. He's just Samuel, where are we? Oh, hello. And he looks around at everyone and then sees Raya. And he kind of frowns and he's yeah. You, yeah. So this is what we were doing, Samuel.
And Ari kind of reaches down and just Samuel's hand, just kind of still in that unbelief phase of she's just holding on to him kind of a thing.
Yeah, he squeezes it. Yeah, and Samuel says, sorry about that. Yeah, and Cebu just kind of shrugs. He's honestly, I was half tempted to do it too. It's really nice to meet all of you.
Yeah, and so Ari kind of tugs on Samuel and is let me introduce you to my friends and a new friend, I guess.
Yeah, I think everyone is just kind of still looking a little bit at Tepping, just okay, who's this guy?
I would if you noticed the message I sent you, Caleb, I'm getting all of this, just so you know.
Sorry, I didn't see the message. Let me look at it real quick.
Getting all of this.
I have comprehend language.
Oh, right, of course, yeah.
Oh, right, because he doesn't speak common.
Nope, but I have a way pretty much to cast it at will whenever I want, so I just pretty much keep it active all the time.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So then she goes and she's this is Raya that you kind of know.
We already know each other.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I know her better than I know you, honestly, at this point.
Ooh.
Well, and he means that just as a joke, right? He's right, because I've actually been talking to Raya. I haven't actually talked to you in years.
Yeah, and then she goes, "This is Darius, my best friend."
Ah, so you're my replacement then.
And Ari just punches him in the shoulder,
Yeah.
Like
think
you can tell,
Darius,
like she's kind of like, and then she says, "And this is Tepin, our new companion."
Jordan, what were you gonna say?
It doesn't matter. I was
Okay.
gonna say that Darius just like goes up to him and shakes his hand and says, "I don't think anybody is going to replace you."
Okay, yeah, he doesn't know how to take that. He just kind of like shakes your hand. She's like, all right.
And then Ari kind of like, after she introduces like Tepin, she like, then you can tell she like wants to, she like kind of does the oops thing where she like wants to introduce somebody else. And she's like, and then she like stops herself and she's like,
But
Yeah.
I have a quick question, Caleb.
and then she just kind of like tries to like compose herself again. She's like, and that's everybody.
I have a quick question, Caleb. Can awakened mind, can I talk at the same time as I do that?
Awakened.
Starting, I can put it in the chat. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
that would be good.
Oh, I just heard thunder. I have an idea of something I can do, but I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
So what I want to do essentially is say at the same time as I'm doing this, like saying, "It is good to meet you, Samuel," and kind of say that at the same time as I'm saying it telepathically, so he kind of hears me and understands what I'm saying.
Right. So you're speaking. Your actual voice is speaking primordial, but he's hearing it in common.
Yeah.
In his mind. Yeah.
Just so both people can understand me at the same time.
Yeah, I kind of
did not realize how kind of neat that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess
I can talk in two languages at the same time.
with anyone with the
people's minds.
So Sabu has just been kind of like watching this like introduction sort of thing from a little bit of a distance still. And you're looking from person to person as you've been introducing them, Ari. And then Samuel like turns back to him and then he just like he starts doing that thing. and Sabu coughs and he's like, yes, of course. And he walks over to Uriah and he says, I hope that we can work together. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it's good to finally meet you.
There'll be time to explain all of that.
Of course.
Good to
I think
finally see you too.
Yeah. I think I see he says, I think the last member of our little party is still... And then he looks back and we see Clement just standing in the brush, just like darkly, like... And I think right away you guys all get just like an off vibe from this guy. Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah, obviously in the soundtrack we hear his theme play and it's very dark and ominous. And we hear him say, so you deceived me, Samuel. And Samuel just kind of like shrugs. He's like, we were going pretty much in this direction anyway. Clement just kind of like coughs slightly. He says, well, it's no matter. We're here now. And he walks over to Uriah, I think. And he reaches out a hand. He says, my name is Clement. I work with Faustina Diaz and his expedition. I hear that you used to work for one Lord Navarro?
Yes. Used to.
Interesting. And so, well, I am very interested and curious, of course, to hear all about the, whatever happened in the city over there. If I take it that you were just there a day or two ago? Were you the ones who...
We didn't do that, if that's what you're asking.
But honestly flattered that you think we could.
He kind of like smirks a little bit.
Wait, do I know who they're talking about?
Who? What do you mean by who?
Because they're talking about like the they're obviously talking about Arendir's fortress being destroyed. Like I know that, but does Tepin know what they're talking about? Because obviously he's a native. He knows about the Seven Serpents.
Yeah, we can assume that. Yeah, I think he pulls back his hood and we see his like kind of like stringy black hair. And he says, these are dangerous times, I think, and allies are in short supply. I would be interested, and I'm sure Faustina would as well, to have a conversation about, well, obviously there's something going on in these jungles that we are not quite aware of, and you all seem to be in the center of it. I'm sure that Faustina would like to know this. Would you care to accompany us back to our camp? I'm sure we can get all of this sorted out and figure out how we can mutually benefit one another.
I mean, Ari just like looks at him and is like, I'm going wherever Samuel is.
And Samuel's just like, well, I mean, I still work for him, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's just like, you're not leaving at me ever again.
Sure. He sees that look, that intense look in your eyes, and he kind of shudders a little bit on the inside. It's like, wow, yep.
I mean, she doesn't say that exactly.
I know,
like,
but I think a look passes between you and your
you
intensity.
know each other well enough.
Exactly. Your intensity kind of passes over him. He's like, okay, all right, okay.
I mean, I don't know how intense Ari actually is.
I know. I get that you're not meaning it in a creepy way, but like, yeah. And he didn't mean it in like a grossed out way. He was just like, okay, all right, intense.
I mean, I haven't seen you in 13 years, fool.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not letting her out of my sights now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no kidding. And so she's just like, well, then let's keep going, shall we?
Yes, I believe something like that is in order, Clement says. Tell me, what information, or he says, tell me as we walk what has been going on in this.
Would I be able to like do a
Insight.
generic like insight check for him?
Sure.
I kind of want to as well.
Yeah,
Who the
everybody
heck
go ahead.
are you?
Make an
Like,
insight
I
check
mean,
for
there's not a
vibes.
specific- Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't know if you can do that for like, just be like,
Like,
Oh.
yeah, his
Feel
intentions
off.
and stuff.
oh, that's so sad. Only a 15.
I know.
Ugh.
Oh,
Dang.
Everyone is fooled.
Hold on, I haven't rolled mine yet.
Except for
Well,
Darius,
he-
maybe.
Can
Fooled
I?
by like his vibes, like we.
No,
still
it's just
think
like, you think he's like a creepy old man, but like you don't expect that he's evil necessarily.
Like,
dang,
I
a 9 to deception.
hang back.
He just seems intense.
I would like to hang back a
Mhm.
bit from everybody, and I'd like to use the hood to and also make an
Haha,
insight check.
yes, of course. Perfect.
I actually wanted to talk to Darius, so I might hang back with him.
So,
And then-
should I roll that right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, wisdom first, or charisma first?
Do your insight first and just see what your initial vibes are, and then you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Darius doesn't see anything.
Darius always
off.
thought the good in people.
Exactly.
Actually,
Or
I mean,
potential
okay.
for good.
quick
Yeah.
question, Caleb.
Mhm.
Given how Ari was like introducing everyone, and it looked like she was about to introduce someone else, is it safe to assume Teppan gets the idea of they lost someone?
I mean, you can make an insight check.
Make an insight check. That's what that is. Yeah.
But I wanted to just know.
Yeah, I don't think you understand. You obviously tell there's something off, but you don't get it quite.
I might.
I mean,
was
yeah,
gonna-
Ari wasn't like, and oh no, I mean, no, it wasn't like that.
It was just there was a moment of awkwardness, a slight moment of awkwardness, where she was about to introduce someone who wasn't there.
So, do I,
Yeah, make a charisma check if you want. Yeah, so I think there's a moment that passes, Darius. You put up the hood, and right away, Clement looks back at you, like he noticed that you were doing this. And you guys meet each other's gaze, and there's a look that passes between you. And obviously, your look is like arcane, but you're assuming that his is too.
well, here's, like, when I put the hood up, does, like, the skull thing happen?
I mean, it usually does,
Okay.
right? But the thing is, like, you're behind everybody, so nobody would notice normally,
Yeah.
except as soon as you do it, Clement obviously feels something's off, and he like turns and looks straight at you. But he doesn't look like phased necessarily. He just acknowledges it. And there's a gaze that passes between you two, and you both understand that gaze as like, yes, we both have interesting magical things going on. and we're wary of each other, but maybe we'll just kind of like leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
As for your like actual like an analysis of the guy, let me double check his character sheet real quick. I just want to double check like what magical
And like,
stuff
I would
pick
like
off
to know
of.
about his life energy specifically too.
Yeah, of course. If you got a higher roll, I think I would have revealed something a bit
Dang,
more
20's pretty
interesting.
high, though.
It is, but this is a very specific and unique thing.
Didn't you also say that I could also like tell emotions and such from the hood? Or
Yes. Wait a second.
diving into people's
He gets-
Oh, what a great
he gets to
sound
make a
hear.
save.
save.
Okay.
Nope.
So you sense resistance. You sense that he has something about him where it legitimately lets him. So he has a thing where, and you can tell us about him. His mind cannot be read ever for any reason whatsoever. And so even that itself was kind of blocking a little bit your analysis of him through life energy. It's not the same thing. And so you could pierce through it, through your, because he got a 11 on his wisdom save. But he has a shield around him. He has some sort of like eldritch shield around him. That's like blocking his thoughts and stuff.
I know what that is.
Yeah. And so yeah, he's like looking at you, and this gaze passes between you, and you see, you can't really read his emotions, but honestly, his vibe seems similar to Tepping's. Like Tepping is right next to you. He's to the left of you. There's a weird similarity between the magical aura they're giving off. And I think Darius can, it's just for player Jordan to like know
Right, they're both warlocks.
meta things. Yeah, they're both warlocks.
That's not the reason why I have that aura around me though necessarily.
I know.
It's okay.
And I know what you're yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
make sure.
So I'm able to sense the arcane energy and like determine. Okay, that's what these guys can do. That's who they are. And I mean, Darius was around Toity, and
I wasn't a warlock for very long.
no, but
And that's the thing, like it maybe feels a little similar to Toity's energy, but it's definitely different. There's definitely something weird
Right.
about this.
right
And it's not a good weird.
for both of them or just
For both of them. Yeah,
Okay.
there's like a I mean it unsettles you. Like it's something that should not be. Like okay, so you're familiar with life energy and death energy. This is neither of those things. Something else, something outside of those two opposing
Yeah.
forces.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're gonna have to tell me what it is for me because I'm not sure. You may have lost me, Caleb.
I know. Don't worry.
Okay. Good to know. And Darius just kind
Okay,
of like,
you know what? Actually, wait. Let me back up real quick because I want to make sure the continuity isn't broken here. I think that actually it is true that Tepuma is definitely a little bit different. So you sense death energy from him, like his magic is powered by death energy. I think it's just Clement that you sense this weird, not quite either thing from him.
okay.
Yeah. Just Clement.
But I can still sense obviously like warlock.
There's obvious similarities, yes, for sure.
But I sense something almost off about Tepin as well.
Yeah, there's definitely something off, but it's not the same quite off. I mean, like anyone who uses death energy is a little bit off. Like that's
Right.
not.
I mean,
It's kind of a weird way to. It's not comfy, right? that's probably the best word to describe it. But like Clement
like
is like
almost awkward.
super not comfy.
right. So what about Samuel and
Sabu.
Samuel and Sabu, pretty straightforward. Yeah, I mean, you can sense obviously that Sabu has magic. He's a cleric of some sort, but nothing super off about either of them.
Here's a rude question.
Yeah.
Would I be able to tell? Because do I know about the thing I did with Sabu?
Yes, you know now. Yep.
Okay. So would I be able to tell if he's from the same plain.
Okay,
It's
so
like the
now that you
same-
asked the specific question, I think you definitely can tell. You notice, because you look at your own life energy, you look at Cebu, and you're like, you're looking for... Actually, okay. I set the DC in my head for that, and I don't think you met it. So you guess that there is, but you can't find anything specific about it. That where you're like, this is the marker, and I see it in both of us. Like, so you can't quite pinpoint whatever that like DNA marker would be, right? Sort of a
Okay.
thing. With the life energy, with the hood, but I mean, just your guess at least.
And with that guess,
Yeah.
Can I make does anything set me off about creepy dude?
So you're looking specifically
Because he's
for...
kind of from a parallel world also.
Well, so that's the thing. Yeah, Darius, you...
Like I sense this thing that's like it like is kind of hinting towards like there's something different, there's something that we share, and there's something that's different between me and the others.
Yeah, I think it's a different role. Make an Arcana check. Because you can't quite pick it out with whatever the hood is telling you.
Dang it!
Yeah, I
had
don't think
advantage.
13 is enough. Yeah, I honestly don't even know if 18 would have been enough either. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I have a -1 Arcana.
Exactly.
so-
Yeah,
You would have had a crit for that.
yeah, I think so. Like, this is a very specific thing, and obviously, like backing out from backing to player knowledge.
Mhm.
If you had gotten a higher roll in that charisma check, you would have been able to notice that both you, Cebu, and Clement all shared this weird like otherness, right,
Yeah.
from coming from another parallel world. But Darius can't quite pick it up because he doesn't know what he's
Yeah.
looking for, right? So
Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's looking at.
exactly,
necessarily.
yeah. So, but yeah, we as players all know that that's true, but
Yeah.
Darius does not pick it up.
Like this is ultimately gonna result in Darius dimension shifting. Maybe not that, but
I mean, it's true.
oh,
Darius, you know what you could probably try to do? You could probably try to dimension shift into a parallel world. You could probably try it.
It's not right
I-
now.
Doesn't seem like the thing to try right now, but yeah.
like level 20, I just become the traveler, like of dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
It's
World
like-
hopper.
I died 200 years ago in this world. Interesting. It's just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's tense. Okay.
So, yeah. Anyways, I think as we're like walking though, Ari's like staying ridiculously close to Samuel, of course. Like,
I feel like you guys are leading the charge a little bit, probably.
yeah, I feel like we're kind of ahead of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If Clement was like asking about that information, like, you seem to know more than we do. What do you
Mhm.
know? And I know we're going back to the camp. I would have just said, like, let's wait until we're all together and I don't need to explain anything twice.
All right. Yeah, he kind of gives you a look and then nods slowly, and he says, I suppose that makes sense. I would just like to say that it is so very good to meet you, Rael Femi. And then nods. Kind of like backs up in the order of like people
Yeah,
walking.
if me and Cebu are in front, I really hope what's happening is like the awkward are walking next to each other, but neither of us are walking exactly straight. So we keep like
Mhm.
bumping hands like every like
Yep.
10 minutes.
And then he apologizes. He's like, oh, sorry. Yep.
How
Definitely
cute.
true. Yep.
Whereas Ari just like, she has not let go of Samuel's hand. I'm just
Mhm.
saying, like,
Yeah, and I think at this point is like getting a little like he's just like noticing it, and I think he looks at you and he says, "So I mean, we have to catch up, right? Like, what's
well, how are you alive for one? Let's start there.
um."
And I think she kind of like at that point, like,
eat
let's
my
go.
Wheaties.
Yeah. Okay. So he nods and he says, "I mean, when it happened,
I
So
saw you die, Samuel. I don't understand. How are you alive?
What do you mean? You didn't?
I saw you die. When I came back to the village, you died in my arms.
I haven't seen you since the day, since the moment you walked up to take the trial.
What are you talking about?
Ari, I left before any of it happened.
You
went off-
left?
I went off by myself. I needed to think through some things. It was only when I saw the burning and heard the screams that I ran back.
But I
By then it
saw
was too late.
you.
You didn't see me. I promise you didn't. You might have seen someone else.
Is
or-
anybody else alive?
I don't think so. I'm familiar. I was familiar with pretty much everyone who lived in that village,
I mean, so was I, but
and you probably counted the bodies too.
I didn't really have much time. They were still lingering around.
There's no one else. I assumed you had just been eaten right away.
By the dragon.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you never really did have faith in me anyway, so.
really? That's the way we're going to broach this conversation.
If you really thought that I had a chance, why didn't you look for me?
You were 14, Ari.
13, actually, thank you. But, you know.
All right. I assumed you were going to die when you went up there the first time. Or before you even went up.
Yeah, well, I got the item and I proved myself.
Well, great. Now the whole village will cheer for you.
Cheer. I'm your chief.
Yay. And just like sighs and looks off into the jungle.
She's like, I'm sorry, that's not fair.
Yeah, it really isn't.
You know, been grieving for you for 13 years. It's not a day goes by that I didn't regret saying something more. Samuel, I loved you so much.
I know.
You want to know what I got?
What do you mean?
You want to know what I got from the cave?
Oh, yeah. What did you get?
I got a dragon's egg.
What?
I
Well, what
took
did
a
you
dra-
do with it?
I took it thinking.
Don't tell me you have a dragon somewhere that you're like
No.
you've become a dragon tamer. Because that would be
Sam.
awesome.
Samuel, I hate dragons. I've been spending the last 13 years hunting them, every single one of those bleeping things down.
Right.
Dragons destroyed our lives.
I mean, but they're still pretty cool, right?
No, they suck.
Okay. All right.
You hated them back then. Why are you so nonchalant about this?
I mean, things happen. You go out of the world, you learn things, you ride a dragon once or twice. I mean, things happen.
Anyways, I got the egg for you. I knew how much you hated them back then. I thought maybe we could compromise. I knew you and my dad never saw eye to eye. Then it all was for nothing.
You know, I could have become a pessimist these last years. I could have rued the day that happened and spent my entire life always regretting, always looking back, never looking forward. But that's not a way to live.
That's how I lived. Every day.
Yeah, I can see that.
except the last month or so.
Yeah? What changed?
And she like smirks a little bit.
No. Really? You?
What is he saying?
No, yeah, he's guessed it.
Yeah, me.
I'm sorry. So he didn't.
He did, but he also didn't.
What is this all about, Ari? What have you been doing?
Samuel, there's so much I have to tell you. But you know what? I guess we have time for that now.
Yeah, we have a long walk.
I just mean we have more time now, I hope. Samuel, I spent the last 13 years without you. I don't plan on letting you go.
Okay. I don't plan on trying to escape, so
Don't tell that to Caleb.
you can rest easy.
I finally feel like I can breathe again.
Yeah, I can tell that too, but it seems like the breathing is ragged and broken. There's still something. Listen, you take all the time that you need to
Samuel,
grieve properly.
No, it's fine. He
And-
told me to be happy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen, I want to be there and help you through whatever you're going through, but if you think that I'm just going to get in the way, or if there's ever a point...
No, Samuel, you're not going to get in the way.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Samuel.
Listen, Ari, I don't know where this is going to lead us. I don't know what's going to happen when we get back to camp. I don't know what... I sure as heck don't know what you guys are doing and what's going on in the jungles here, but...
I think we really do either.
Classic Ari, flying by the seat of her pants. If she wore pants.
She just like...
I had to stay away from the lake like most of the summer.
Wait, what? I'm so what?
He's implying that like you used to go like skinny dipping in the lake or whatever. Like, and he's just like, I had to stay away from the lake all the time because you would just be
I
there.
had no idea that's what you were going for. I was just like, I think
right, but I was talking as if you knew because he would have said it that way, but obviously you didn't know. Yeah.
Right. So she's just like, well, I mean, you never cared about me that way anyway, so it's whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Insight check that sucker. I really wish I had inspiration for that, but 15.
Yeah, I mean, you can sense something that's obviously off with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, she just like looks at him, raises an eyebrow.
It's nothing. Things were a lot more complicated back then, so it doesn't really matter.
They're a whole lot more complicated now, Samuel.
You know, you're probably actually right about that. All I'm saying, Ari, is I don't know what's in the future here. I'm honestly relieved to have found you and happy this all somehow worked out the way it did. But I don't know what... I just don't know. I don't know what we are going to be. I hope that's okay with you. I just don't know.
What we're going to be? What does that even mean?
All right. Still oblivious. Okay.
No, she's like, yeah. She's like, Samuel, you're the only family I have.
Okay.
I have Darius. I have Raya. But to have found you after 13 years, that doesn't just happen. I don't really believe in fate. I don't really know what I believe anymore, to be honest. Up until a couple months ago, I didn't even think that there was gods. Magic was stupid. Like,
I mean, I still think that's true. Magic is pretty stupid.
and then he like chuckled back at Sabu.
No offense, Sabu. None taken, he says.
Yeah, and then Arya just
I-
kind of like
I
conjures
do
some
give
fire
him
in
a
her
glance,
hands,
though.
and she's just like, "You better watch it."
Oh, well, yeah, he looks down, he's like, wait a second. What?
Yeah, from my ring, you know.
You
Produce
have
flame.
a magic ring.
I mean, she didn't say that as a player. I'm just reminding. Sorry, I thought
No, I
you
know.
were just.
Oh,
Okay.
no. That was Samuel saying that.
Yeah, she's just like, I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve.
Okay.
You better not mess with me, Samuel.
Dang, I thought. Well, okay.
I'm curious to see who's the better shot these days.
Oh, I mean, obviously still me. Let's be real about that.
I don't know, Samuel. I traversed the whole Congo of Africa by myself.
Oh, did you? Interesting.
So,
Well, I spent most
did.
of my time in the north among the dwarves. I had to be
Ooh.
a good shot up there.
Hardy.
Darius just pops
No
up.
one else would be.
"Hey."
He said, no one else would be.
Oh my gosh, what if he knew Darius's brother?
In canon, they probably met once. Sure. He's been
Maybe.
around.
I mean, it's a big universe, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, if Clement is
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Ari really takes to his like optimistic attitude. She's just kind of like, why aren't you pessimistic like you used to be?
Yeah, I think he senses that vibe from you, and he's just like, listen, believe me, I'm still the cynical idiot you knew. I just hide it a lot better these days.
Sometimes I wish that I was a little bit more optimistic like I used to be. Sometimes I wish I was a good person like I used to be. Certainly not that anymore.
You just keep saying things, and I have no idea how to take any of them.
Yeah, well, a lot happens in 13 years, Samuel.
You owe me a long conversation, Ari. That's all I'm going to say.
You owe me one.
I mean, basically, I could sum up what I've been doing in like 3 sentences. Like, I travel around a lot, I killed a lot of people, and now I'm here. I basically have just been a mercenary. Nothing too important.
Well, ditto. Except not people, dragons. Which I think that's a little bit more impressive.
So we're going to play that game.
We always
Fine.
used to.
And honestly, I feel like we fade out from the conversation on there, right? Like, you guys are just
Yeah.
kind of like
I mean,
going back and forth. Now, I'm interested in how the conversation with Raya and Sabu is going.
can I roll like some kind of
Our
like
time will
deception?
come, Seth.
Can I roll some kind of like check to see like Arya's trying to play happier than she really
Right.
is.
Okay, yeah, sure. You may make a deception check, and I'll make insight for him.
Oh no.
Oh,
I mean, it's very,
come on,
very
good
unlikely
insight, good insight.
that he'll fail this, but actually, he doesn't have that much. But
Dang.
Oh,
just
just
barely.
barely.
Yeah. So maybe the last thing we get from that conversation is we just see him like kind of frowning at you, like he obviously knows that something's wrong, and you're hiding something, but he doesn't bring it up.
Maybe it'll be like how me and Sabu are incapable of lying to each other.
True. That is also true. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, right, you guys have just been like walking awkwardly for a while. And I think finally, but this is exactly how this would go, right? Like, Sabu eventually just like coughs. So, you're a cleric. And like obviously, like you guys have been messaging each other and stuff. Like,
Have you met Ted?
Yeah.
I am not an architect. I am a cleric. And you are also a cleric.
I mean, yeah. Seems to come in handy.
Gotta keep these fools alive somehow.
Yeah. Samuel can be one heck of a fool, that's for sure. Is yours like that? He's like gestures to Ari.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is sort of a rude question to ask, but I mean, what master do you serve? Like God do you serve?
Well, I mean, she's dead, but
What? What do you mean? What?
I have it on pretty good intel that she's dead. But Salune.
I don't think I've heard of her.
Well, I mean, I can tell you about her. I still have powers, but I guess she's been dead for a couple hundred years.
So wait a second. I'm confused. Gods can die, and how do you know this? And did you kill one? Is that what? Like, what's?
We definitely have not killed one.
Darius is like,
we just made one instead.
Yeah.
Darius just like you just cut to a chibi shot of Darius.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like I definitely have not killed a god.
Right. Oh, of course. I mean, I didn't assume that you did. I mean, I saw the city, and there's a lot of things that have been going on. I just don't know exactly how it's been going.
Not great.
So what's Salune's aspect? As in, like, the thing that she
The moon.
controls? Yeah.
Yeah, the moon.
That's the common term that people use for that.
Yeah.
Moon. All right. And any particular focus you have in terms of, magic?
Healing life energy.
Life. Interesting. Seems like an odd stylistic choice for a goddess of the moon. But, I mean, I haven't heard of Salune, so I wouldn't know. Is she a goddess of fertility or something as well?
I, kind of blush.
Because he mentioned fertility.
Exactly.
I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
Fertility.
I don't know. Is she? Let's be real. I haven't looked up all of
I don't
Salune's.
think so, but
I'm gonna say, no, not that I'm aware of.
the Salune that exists in Faerun has moon stars, navigation, navigators, wanderers, questers, seekers, and non-evil lycanthropes. That's what she's kind of in charge of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think he nods and he says, my god of choice is Thoth. And you know who that is. That's the Egyptian god of knowledge, basically.
That doesn't really surprise me.
Right. And it is that awkward thing where he's like, wait, what? I don't know you. How do you how does that not surprise you? Because he's still kind of getting across the fact that apparently you've known him, but he hasn't known you.
Right.
And yeah, he somehow just doesn't know about your existence, even though he definitely knows that family, and so he's just very confused. But he says, so Raya, I've just been meaning to ask, how have I not seen you? So you said you've been away for a while? Our families seem to have done a lot of functions together over the years. I just have never...
I don't want to talk about them.
Okay. That's fine. I guess it's just yours is a face I would think I would remember.
Look, it's because I found out they're not really my family.
Oh. And everything starts to click in his head, and he's just like, oh, okay. You're the, and so this is in his mind, but like, and I think he doesn't say it out loud, but I don't know if you, make an insight check. I'm curious if you pick up on his assumption that he's just made.
Oh no, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay, but I think
I don't.
in the meta, we understand that he's assuming that you're like an illegitimate child. And so your parents, like, one of your parents had you out of wedlock or something. And so, like, it's a scandal. And so you've been.
Continue on and be
Okay.
like, I found out they're not really my family. I don't want to be associated with them. I need to, maybe when all this ends, if all this ever ends, I'll find out who my real parents are and maybe find them if they're still alive.
Yeah, and he's still trying to, like, figure out exactly what the situation is then. And so he just nods because he doesn't want to, like, press any further. He just nods, he says. Of course. Right. And he just feels, you can tell that he feels so awkward because you literally just told him, like, your deepest, darkest secret. And he's like, I don't even know you. Like, why are you telling me this?
Just oversharing. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, so he nods. So. I'm sorry, I don't actually know where I was going with that. I feel like there's a lot to talk about, but you said you wanted to wait until we were at camp?
Well,
Say it all at
wait
once.
about anything that has to do with the business of being here.
Right, isn't... And then you can realize that's what he was referring to, right? Like, that's what he was talking about. But he just nods. And he doesn't say anything else. He just kind of...
Yeah, I think like Ari like peeks back at one point like to look.
And we're just like awkwardly in silence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and so I think we go back even further in the line.
I think I missed something right there at the end.
Well, so basically what happened was Raya was, or Sabu was like, we still have stuff to talk about, but you said you didn't want to talk about it until we were at camp. And Raya's like, oh, well, only the stuff that's related to the mission. But he was like, isn't that everything? Like, what else do we have to talk about?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That was the kind of assumption that passed there.
Does he understand what I was saying?
I can make an insight for him, but, you know, knowing this game, he's probably going to fail.
Nat 20, come on, Nat 20!
Nah. He doesn't get it.
Why are you guys so bad?
He doesn't get it. Yep, these conversations went basically exactly as I thought they would. Yep.
Okay, now,
Yes, so
question, Caleb.
we pull back and we see the other three, yeah. Mhm.
When 3?
You, Darius, and Clement.
Oh,
In
I
the
thought
back
we
of the
were
line.
walking behind him.
I was thinking
yes.
Clement fell back to like behind us, and then Darius and Kevin
Yeah,
were
you guys
behind
are all
him.
taking up the rear. Like, not necessarily, like, 3 in a line, but, like, you're in a clump. Like, there.
Question. When Darius did his hood stuff, did I feel him pressing on me? Because, like, I don't know what made Clement able to feel it, but
Yeah, because like nobody else has up until this point.
I mean, he is essentially the same thing I have, but
Well,
his.
he has some
his-
different stuff than you. Yeah.
Well, okay, if it's the thing I'm thinking of, he has it.
It's not exactly the same thing. Yeah, let me double check what you got here and make sure that I'm not.
Because the thing I saw, because I was looking at this earlier, because I mean,
Yeah, it's not. You guys don't have the same thing.
okay.
So yeah, there was something else going on with him.
Okay, so I couldn't necessarily feel him pressing on me.
No.
Okay, quick question. So, what all did they tell me?
And by all, you mean...
When we were talking, then like filling me in on...
I assume they told you most of the details of like, we need to stop She of the Jade Skirt from awakening, so we need to stop Mazayol, so we need to gather allies. That's basically the gist of what they told you, right?
Well, I would have just been like, we need to stop Mazayol.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, so we
Well,
need to stop one of the seven serpents.
would they explain the stuff with the god of death and everything?
What part of
the new one? There is one now.
Like the fact that he died, would they have explained anything more?
They already explained that, yeah. That
and like how they made a new one, would they have explained that?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We probably just say there is a new one now.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't even say that we made a new one. Probably just that
there is a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not big into like being forthright with any information, especially with strangers.
Unless it's with Sabu.
Because here's the thing.
That has nothing to do with ruining our mission, okay?
Fair.
Oh, wait till Caleb's back. He's talking with someone.
Just like there's so much that I want to say, but Samuel's so nonchalant. I'm like, what the heck, man?
Sabu's all business.
Sorry, Connor was conferring with me on something.
Okay, so just so I didn't hear anything about them then.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
Because Teppan would be curious about that. Because here's the thing, even though he doesn't know like why, like he obviously like Ari was obviously like trying to introduce someone that wasn't there.
Yes.
And so he's curious. So
yeah, I mean when we stop for camp, like, or if you just ask Darius.
No, I mean we're walking.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask Darius. Well, I figure I assume all these conversations are happening simultaneously.
Pretty much.
So he's gonna turn to Darius. Would I know that Darius has death magic? That was the other thing I was curious about.
Yeah, probably. You know the touch, yeah.
Okay, I won't start with that. You don't jump in head first. So he said, "So your name is Darius, correct?"
Yes.
Okay.
It was Teppan.
Yes. I have a question. Your friend Ari? It seems as if she was trying to introduce someone who wasn't there. He might just leave it at that. Like
Darius sighs and kind of looks ahead and just kind of looks like this whole time Darius has been pretty somber. And he kind of just looks down a bit. We lost someone.
I am sorry to hear that.
Thank you for your condolences.
Was it someone you are close to?
And Darius looks up and thinks back. He was.
I understand what it is like to have loss. See, part of the actually no, have we? So they did mention the fact of the seven serpents and everything. Then
they mentioned that we have to stop Mazayol,
and I know Mazayol as one of the seven serpents.
Yeah. You're very. Everyone here is very familiar with the seven serpents.
I figured. I just making sure.
Yeah.
I gave very little information. Unless anybody else gave more.
Information is power, Teraya, so.
I am very familiar with the pain that the seven serpents have caused in this area, being from it myself. Not quite this area, but their terror reaches far. I have seen the loss that they bring. Are you saying things, Jordan? Because I can't hear
Their terror is felt.
you.
Their terror is felt.
They Castle of Erendia, that is near here, correct? Is that where these men came from?
That seems to be the case.
So, one is gone. And Tevin just gets a smile on his face at the thought of that. Like, so, one is gone. That is good news. Not so much. No, actually, no. He wouldn't necessarily know that Mazayol ate the other one.
Right? Did you give all the information to Darius and Ari at least of what was going on?
I mean, I would assume she at
would
least gave it to me,
say-
and then Darius overheard everything.
Well, Darius walked in the room right when it was happening. Yeah,
I thought I was just sitting
you were
out
just
in
basically
the cave.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just curious if there's anything you wouldn't have told them.
Mhm.
Just so we have all the information straight.
I think I would have said I don't think I would have mentioned the body at all.
Okay.
Because there is no reason to.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
body.
Since we're just trying to kind of ignore it and
Yeah.
not do anything with it, I think I would have said everything except for the stuff about the body.
So in that case, that Tevin would just say, so, one is gone. That is good to hear. He's smiling.
Yeah. So Darius, it's not really good to hear because
I don't
Prob-
know.
yeah. I'm just saying for Darius, right? Like
Yeah.
the thing that comes to your mind is that's actually not good because that means Mazayol is much more powerful now.
Yeah, and Darius was just thinking that. I was just thinking, I'm like, well, gone is one way to put it.
One way.
I'm afraid. We are in for some very difficult battles.
Thing is, things never come easy.
No?
Not especially with the 7 serpents. Well, 6 now, I guess.
And they'll only get harder from here.
That's how power scaling works.
we
Darius
gained
just
levels,
looks-
so our enemies will be stronger.
Darius just looks up to the sky. Curse you, DM!
Suffering, you hear it from the
He
sky.
just sees like all the clouds form the word
The word
suffering.
suffering. Yep.
Like, that would be a really funny comic to see. Just all of our characters pointing and looking up. Oh, look, suffering in the sky.
Oh look, it's Caleb. It's just the word suffering spelled out in the sky.
It's like, oh, look, the sky says Caleb was here, and it just says suffering.
Perfect. Yeah.
But Darius turns to Tepin. So what is your story?
Second. Many years ago, the 7 serpents ravaged my village. I was the only survivor. So I have been a bit of a wanderer the past years. Come across a what was I saying? I have made my way in the area and been on my own since.
So you said he was a wanderer, basically?
So he said yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Darius nods. I lived that life for a time.
I will admit, though, I am not familiar with this area very well. I used to being much further south than here. It was a bit of a adventure getting here.
Darius thinks back to the ship expedition over, and he's like, "Yes, I'm not quite familiar myself with the area, though. As long as we have them, we should be fine."
I'm assuming he's pointing to Ari and Raya.
Well, Ari and
Samuel.
Samuel.
Okay, gotcha.
Wait, what? Why not Raya?
Well, in terms of like
because-
surviving the wilderness, right? That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
Oh,
it's
right.
navigating. It's about
Yeah.
navigating.
Right. Okay, I understand.
I
I'm
think
like,
Darius even says,
what?
they seem to navigating these lands seems to come almost naturally to them.
just not navigating each other. Ari is so baffled by like Samuel's like positive attitude.
Mhm.
She's like, "You're not the Samuel I knew."
Well, he's been he's been spending some time with Sabu, so
Right. I mean, Samuel was always kind of positive, but he was super cynical.
oh yeah,
This
don't worry,
boss
you just
is-
haven't hit the cynical part yet.
Ring, right?
So Teppan's gonna go. So I will say this: when I was called here, I was not expecting to find more people, more servants of death. I have not seen any in quite some time. I mean, I guess it makes sense to have death calling me to another servant of death, but I don't know. It's just not something I have seen very often.
To be honest, it's kind of comforting that I'm not the only one out here doing this. You're one of the few servants of death that I've met.
Well,
In fact, I was the first servant of death I met.
Teppan's gonna chuckle at that.
In fact, you were death for like 2 seconds.
Oh, frick, what if? No.
What?
I just had the thought, like, what if, like, Teppan received orders from Darius at one point? Like,
I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe like that's when the calls started. But
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, there was obviously something that happened that sent that call out that wasn't Miggy. So
yeah.
Teppan
You know what's
doesn't know.
ironic is that Ari is the only like not servant of death out of our group.
true. That doesn't have some sort of direct.
I was
liege
gonna say,
tie.
I'm not a servant.
I mean, you're a guardian.
Guardian, which is
I mean,
different. I serve the moon,
Raya don't serve no one but the moon.
and the person who controls the moon is dead. So I serve a rock in the sky.
True.
yeah.
And
So
that's
pretty
it.
much Raya serves herself, and that's it.
He would love buffets.
So I'm assuming we like camped out at night.
You laughed at that one.
Was
Well, because it took me a moment to get, and then I was like, "Oh wow,
No, I mean Emily.
oh
is
Emily,
smiling at
I
that
know,
one.
yeah,
That-
that's true."
It's true.
when I tell a joke and it makes Emily smile, I feel really good inside because
I
it's
feel
hard
that.
to do one that makes
Yup,
her
I
not
agree.
just.
what,
want
Jordan,
to
was there
punch
anything?
us.
Was there anything else that Darius was gonna say?
Um,
I'm trying to think if there's anything else Teppan was gonna say. I think
Yeah,
he covered.
yeah, actually. How did you come to follow death?
That's actually something I haven't decided myself.
So insert.
Wait, give me a second. Give me a second.
Maybe he just chuckles and says it's a long story.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it is kind of.
That's totally.
He's gonna have to like that is a story. Maybe it's like I can tell up ahead, like we're breaking down for camp.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like that is a like looks like that will have to be a story for another time.
Honestly, I mean, unless somebody has a quick snippet of conversation they want to finish up before we end here, I think that's maybe a good enough place to kind of start wrapping up.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I mean, and this can wait until next session, but I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask Raya something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask her. I was like, Raya, as like the most awkward way Ari possibly can.
Perfect. Do it.
Raya, how do you pray?
If only Toity were here.
I mean, so she's like, I know it's like,
Because you want to pray to Mickey.
yeah.
Dear ex-boyfriend, please bless my relationship with my new boyfriend.
Oh my gosh.
This takes the whole Jesus is my boyfriend culture to a
Oh,
whole
no.
I'm
Oh,
dating
no.
Jesus. It takes that to a whole
My
new
boyfriend is a
level.
literal god.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh, jeez.
Would you ask this to me alone or when I'm standing next to Sabu?
Oh no, when you're alone for sure.
Okay. I just kind of go
Like maybe like when we're setting up for camp or whatever.
Well, you kind of just talk or think in your head.
That's it. You don't need to
Like-
do like any like rituals or anything.
If it makes you feel better, you can.
I mean, that's what we used to do to our dragon god back then, but I wasn't, yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, it can help sometimes if it's like quiet around you and you can focus.
Okay.
I don't know. I never really learned any sort of special technique.
I just kind of joined a random cult I found in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, so
That's
she's
kinda
just
what
kind of like,
Doris did.
so like, what do you like say?
Well, I mean, that's kind of up to you.
So you just talk till nothing.
Yep. And like,
What's so funny is if you had asked Sabu the same question, he would have been like, giving you a long list of like, okay, well, you know, you could do this and that, and here's a ritual, and like all of this stuff. But yeah, Raya's just like, I don't know, just talk, I guess.
I know, but she doesn't like talk to Sabu. She's worried she'd say something stupid to him.
No,
anyway.
I'm just amused at the
Oh, yeah.
difference that would have been.
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes, I mean, there are like special rituals where you can get a response.
I don't necessarily need a response. I think he told me everything he wants to. I don't know. Never mind. I'm sorry. That was so stupid. Good night, Raya. And then she like goes over, lays her bed mat right next to Samuel.
And I kind of like lay mine like 5 feet away from Ari because I'm like, I still think I'm supposed to protect her even though I don't need to.
Uh-huh. I mean, you know that Miggy is the god of death, and he would appreciate that.
Yeah. And then I also am like, oh, that reminds me, I need to ask Sabu if he has any holy water.
True. Okay, cool. So I think the last thing we see.
Oh, before
Yeah.
like I think what like the last thing you see kind of Teppan do is he's kind of just looking at one of his rings, looking in the sky, just kind of thinking about the weird things he's heard today.
Yeah, it's fair.
Oh,
Mhm.
I would, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, any last
have
things?
things.
Go ahead.
Since Teppan was saying the thing about the bones and be careful and stuff, I just want to try and cast Dispel Magic on them.
Okay.
Since I have that
yeah, make an
prepared.
Arcana check, because this is a little bit different than it would be normally, but... Okay, you cast Dispel Magic.
Nope, I just try and cast Dispel Magic.
I mean, you cast it. Who knows if it does anything?
Well, let me make the roll, because then it's like, if it's a certain level, there's a DC. So I'm just gonna, nope. So unless it's 5th level spell or lower, nothing would happen anyway.
Yeah,
But
sure. Yeah, you
'cause I
don't
do
know what
that,
you did. So
and then yeah, I'll wait to do something else until next time.
Darius, you have any last things?
I think Darius starts whittling something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what.
Cool. I think the very last thing we see is Clement. He goes ahead and, he lays out his bedroll. He's kind of like tuckers down for the night. And as he's like, laying it out and like getting all of his stuff prepared.
And
all this
I
stuff
would suggest that we all still take watches.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. We just see him like looking over all of you. And it's just obvious from the way that he's looking that he's heard every single conversation that has been had today, and he has been taking notes. We just see this penetrating gaze as he just watches everyone. He's just like, very interesting. All these interesting conversations.
Even the ones in Primordial?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Even the ones in Primordial. I mean, you don't
and
know
just-
that, but...
Just of note, I probably would have been talking to Cebu in Infernal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was, of course, speaking to Darius in Primordial because that's how I can speak to him. Well, technically, I can speak to him through the telepathic stuff. This is really weird.
I'm curious, does Samuel know Draconic?
Let me check. I feel like I probably would have given him Draconic, but I don't know. I made this character sheet a while ago. Yep, he has Draconic.
So I think in Draconic, she just like tells him like, "Good night, Samuel."
Yeah, and I think he says, this is important. I'm trying to think of how he refers to you in Draconic, because like, if we're speaking in Draconic, he would probably make a point to like say some specific word. But I'm trying to think of what word he would choose.
Not cuz.
Right, because he could do that.
It's not a
right?
hickey.
A hickey?
A hickey?
A hick? You just need a hick?
Hick. What did I say?
You said
Hickey.
You
hickey?
said a hicky.
I'm like,
No,
I'm
not
jumping
that, not
ahead.
that, not that, not that.
That's a different way to right?
Alyssa's messing up words is one of my favorite things.
You
So
have
much.
to work up to that.
Why do I just mess up
Do you
the
air
English
blow at him, too?
language? So,
You air blowing him.
why do I just mess up the English language
I don't
so
know.
much? I'm an English teacher, guys.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
know.
not
Because
okay.
You know, because you also know sign language. That's why.
That has nothing
That
to do
doesn't
with
make any
it.
sense.
Because you have to have like some part of your brain power reserved for that to help other people.
I don't think that's how that
not how
works,
it works.
It's
Jordan.
not how it works, but I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Well,
So yeah, I think we kind of call it there. And oh right, the
There.
thing he was gonna say, right? I was like, oh, what? There's the thing. So
you
the thing
can't
he
escape
says,
it.
is in Draconic. He says, "Good night, little one," and it's a very ambiguous term. It could mean, so it's kind of like the term chan, like the honorific chan in Japanese. So it's like, it could be like little sister, but it also could be the endearing nickname that you call a loved one. So
Insight check it.
yeah, I guess you could.
Not
See
20.
which one he
Not
means.
20. Not 20. No.
Nope. I just don't know.
You know what? You might not even be sure if he knows what he meant by that. So, yep. And we fade out on that, and we'll get to the camp, have a long conversation, do lots of fun things next time as we prepare for season 5. And yeah, season 5 is basically going to be, let's gather our allies and go to war. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really pumped for it. Cool. Well, let's do goals. Let's figure out what our goals are and all that jazz. So, Ari.
I mean, I feel like the party goal would be kill Mazayol.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we could add the new party goal of kill Mazayol. Yeah, that makes sense.
Would that be?
Yeah, that makes total
Okay.
sense. Because it's like the new Geish anyway, right? So, yeah.
Either that or prevent she of the Jade Skirt from awakening.
Your choice. What do you want?
Probably prevent she of the Jade Skirt from awakening, because that can happen in many different ways. Because then for me, one of my goals would probably be kill Mazayol, but
yeah,
that's probably not the only way that we could complete the party goal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, let's start with Tepuma Inksali. What are you thinking?
Well, the first one was the obvious one that happened. Find Raya. That was the obvious. Well,
I'm fine with that being a goal because you like had to get into a fight and stuff, right? To like make sure Raya like survived to talk to and all that jazz.
Maybe let's find Raya and find out like why I was supposed to like meet her. Like I'll incorporate it there because I was supposed to try and find out what they were doing. One thing I want to do, find out what happened. Like this is something I was kind of trying to work towards in my conversation with Darius a little bit, but find out what happened to the god of death.
Yeah. Find out what happened to the god of death. Okay.
And what's another goal? I mean, I can think of the obvious one of just protect Raya because that was literally given to me. So as of now, I don't really have a lot of direction. So I'll just have those for now.
So everybody's level 12, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, actually, maybe what I could... I kind of want to add Get Revenge on the Seven Serpents to mine. But I don't know if...
Yeah, do you just want to replace Find Raya, that slot with...
Yeah, because Protect Raya and Find Raya are kind of... I did both of those.
Get Revenge on the Seven Serpents. That's a...
By the way, we still need to figure out which one it even was.
Yeah. I mean... So it depends. Where was your tribe? That's
what I don't know. Okay. The real question is which one would have done what happened, which we can later because I'm still not completely sure on what.
Pretty much any of them, but you know.
Really? Oh, not Mazayol. He wouldn't have done it. I don't think so.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll have to talk about this later because I guess I'm forgetting details.
I haven't given many details. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to go with. Still, I didn't expect us to be going so quickly. I threw some things together for a basic backstory.
Yep.
I honestly wasn't expecting us to find Samuel and the others this session. So
I honestly, the way I thought I was going to get introduced to you guys was by finding you in the forest and leading you to them to the camp. But whatever.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they were literally right there, and so yeah, it just made sense to like have everybody meet up.
Yeah, I get that.
So you get 5,000 XP, Tepuma.
It's Tepin.
Tepuma is your first name. I can call you by your first name.
But he wants to go by Tepin.
Well, I'm
but
the GM.
Caleb's the DM. He can call you whatever.
I can call you whatever I want.
You never called Toiterus?
I did all the time.
He didn't want to.
All the time. Especially when we were doing goals, I was like, "All right, Toiter, Slog Blossom, what are your goals?"
Okay, fine.
And then I would mess it up because I would say Longbottom because I thought you were Neville.
Right?
Yeah. Cool. Raya?
Goal number 1, kill Mazayol. Goal number 2, learn what Faustino's mission is.
Yeah.
And then goal number 3, whoop-de-doo with Zabu. It's back. I'm better than ever.
So basically it's like win back Sabu, right? Like it's like make him fall in love with thee.
Look, if you read my goal, what happened to Sabu, or in parentheses, or if we retcon it, then make Sabu fall in love with me, ... again, and parentheses, whoop-de-doo with Sabu.
All right, make Sabu fall in love with me.
Whoop-de-doo with Sabu.
Just sounds weird.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. But I mean, given how awkward that conversation is, whoop-de-doo for them is like a peck on the lips, right? Like, so. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I worked on number 3. It wasn't very successful, but I definitely rolled a lot. For that.
Yes, for sure.
And then also with Faustino's mission, trying to understand Clement and what was going on.
True. Yeah, I mean, you were working on pretty much
All
all
of
your goals, so.
And then kill Mazayol. We're getting more allies.
You're figuring that out. 4,000 for you.
4,000. Okay.
We're at a really easy level where it's basically just like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 4,500.
Nice.
Yeah, for different levels of goals. Wow, this is sad. I'm gonna have to delete Miggy from this goal
No.
sheet.
Can't Miggy have like god goals?
No, but he doesn't need to level up. He's literally a god. So, oh, why did I open that up?
Is there a level above God? That's the question.
I mean, actual god. Like,
No.
not just a.
Godhood.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear this stuff?
Yeah. That was funny.
I can't understand it. I just hear shouting.
Yeah, I can just hear
Did you guys hear the music earlier?
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
No.
I can hear it for sure.
I may have not
Used to
stopped
it.
paying attention.
Yeah,
Get
that's fine.
used to it.
Ari?
I remember that kind of stuff.
I get out of my contract with Lord Navarro. I mean,
Yes.
I protected Raya. I mean, get out of my contract. I mean, at this point, we're just not even like part
I feel
of
like
Navarro.
you might just get rid of that goal, right? Like,
Well, that's the goal next session, right? Is to create something new with Faustino.
that's true. Yeah, you should keep
So-
that then. Yeah, of course.
So that's the goal, right? So I'm like, technically, I still have my contract with Lord Navarro,
Yeah.
even though in Ari's mind, it's basically like
It's basically done. You just have to.
it's
finish
just the final severing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goal number 2, find Samuel,
You did it,
and then
but you really didn't roll anything towards it.
I know I
so-
didn't. Well,
so
I
I don't think
mean,
that really counts. Because
Yeah, that's-
okay, so the thing is, like, you didn't have this goal before, you didn't care about it before. Having it as a goal this session makes no sense because he just came to you. So
yeah, but I mean, you didn't have me make a survival roll or anything to like go in the correct direction. Or
She made the
no.
survivor roll for me to
survival
tell him where we were.
Where we were.
True, that's true. Yeah, you're right. There you
I could do
go.
something.
Okay.
And then my third goal, which I don't know if this can be a third goal or not, but
Mhm.
my third goal is fake it till you make it.
yeah. Yep. That's a good goal.
With my happiness, basically.
Fake it until I make it. Yep. We know
I tried to
exactly
do
what that would
with
be.
my deception check.
hmm
So,
Cool. Awesome. So you get 5,000 XP.
yay!
Darius Death Knell,
Okay.
as opposed to
Preliminary.
Darius Castrovet.
Yes. Preliminary. Is there a way, besides obviously just killing the undead that remains,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way for us to kind of all at once bring them down? Like bring the rest of the...
Just as a wild guess, knowing what Darius knows, finding Chalmer and taking the mask away from him or killing him.
Would that
Probably
put
the way
an
to
end
do
to
it.
all the
Killing
undead around the world?
No.
No, just to stop the undead from attacking.
There's
us
no
specifically.
way at this point, unless you can somehow stop the weight that is on Miggy's shoulders right now. There's no way you could accomplish that goal. That's like a end campaign sort of goal. You
Yeah.
could try to stop the undead here, for sure. That's an accomplishable thing.
Or you do the stop undead thing and you commit to always having it as one of your goals.
Could.
And then
And then
by the
insta-level
time
to
you
20?
do it, you level up to level 30.
30?
Yeah, you could literally just be like, stop the undead everywhere. And-
No, that's legitimately what I was considering.
Okay, yeah, if you want to go on a
But-
crusade to stop all undead, you can do that.
But I mean, I feel like that's Darius's mission now.
Sure.
It's just
It's definitely part of it, right? You're
I
working
could-
for death. You
and
want to
I
make
could
sure that
get,
it
like,
works right.
I could still like get a little bits of experience here and there from that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good goal.
So put an
All right,
end
that
to
just
the
means I
death
gotta make
apocalypse.
more undead fight you, I guess.
Put an end to the death apocalypse, could I say?
Yeah. Put an end to the death apocalypse, and
so
then
that's
that could
actually my third
certainly
goal.
be. Okay.
That was my third goal. So 1, figure out what's different with Clement.
Yeah. Figure out what is different about Clement. That's a good goal.
Number 2, and actually, believe it or not, I did work. Oh, should I roll for the thing that I, for the thing I was
Oh, you're
making?
whittling? Yeah,
Yeah,
go
for
ahead.
whittling.
Yeah, make a Mason's tool roll.
Yeah, let me do that right quick. Doo-ba-doo. And what would I use?
Mason's tools with intelligence, probably.
Intelligence? Is that what
I mean, I
always-
can't think of any of the other thing it would be. It's not dexterity exactly. It's not like you have to. I mean,
Kind of dexterity thing.
I mean, like if you were picking a lock, it's not like you would use intelligence for that.
yeah.
I feel
But
like the
I feel like
I mean, you could argue intelligence for picking a, like, for that kind of thing. It's like you can always argue all these different things because intelligence for picking a lock, you have vast knowledge of many different types of locks, and if
Yeah.
you know this kind of lock,
Yeah.
if you want to use dexterity, that's fine.
Okay.
but
I just because dexterity like would just be better for me.
Yeah.
Comparatively, or compared to intelligence, where you have a -1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa!
dang.
Double crit.
You
Double
finish
crit
it in one night.
24. I mean, yeah, you're finished with it. What are you
you
making?
hit it and it turns into the statue it was
Yeah.
made to be.
And I think I know exactly why this went so well.
Mhm.
So my second goal for Darius: come to terms with Toidy's passing.
Mm, yeah.
This makes me so sad.
Because
So
that
do I
definitely
actu-
hit Darius the hardest out of anyone, I'm sure.
Did I actually finish it? The figure?
Yeah.
And so the figure is of Toity.
Mhm.
And I think like after everyone else
Right,
was,
because
like,
you lost his because it was on him.
right. And
Oh yeah, hey Toity.
Hi Toity, we'll miss
It's not
you
focusing.
forever. So I think like after everyone's kind of settled into camp, Darius goes off on his own for a while, and he finds a patch of he finds just like the most beautiful spot that he can, and do I still have some of the flowers?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so like Darius digs out a little spot and puts the figure of Toity in, buries it in this like just a spot where the scenery is just very distinct if you can find something like that.
Mhm.
And then puts one of the flowers on top, and Darius just kind of like kneels there, and he just says, "I'm sorry, my friend." And actually, I think I'm going to I didn't equip it originally, but can I say that I had it because I didn't actually like go and do my spell slots? Can I use ceremony?
Sure.
All right, then I'd like to use ceremony. And
What's that do?
huh?
What's that do?
And I'd like to perform atonement.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? Now that we know a little bit more about who this Darius is, the whole reason you came here was because you were given a chance to do it better. And now you feel like at least in some way, you failed already because Toity died. And he
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to. You were supposed to save everyone.
Yeah.
And so atonement for that. So how does that work exactly? How does the ceremony stuff?
So basically, I take 10 minutes and I perform whatever ceremony. And in this case,
You take
an hour.
an
It takes
hour.
an hour. And in this
Well, if you do it as a ritual, doesn't that? Oh no, is that?
It's not even a spell. It's just a thing.
Oh, okay.
it is a spell.
Well, oh yeah, I guess.
Level 1 spell.
And then I touch for atonement. Technically, I touch one willing creature whose alignment has changed.
Do you have 25 GP worth of powdered silver? I don't
no.
think you do.
Is that what it takes for this one?
Yeah, that's a material component cost.
Is that for every single ceremony?
Yep.
Or is that specifically that one?
Everything.
Every time you cast ceremony, you need that.
Interesting.
You could also use ceremony to cast a wedding.
I know. I was hoping to.
You did it in the other world.
I did.
Oh, speaking of which, is really quick. You said that I could have Miggy's journal, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So in the middle of the night during her watch, she's like going through like her bag, and she finds it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
And I think, oh man, it's probably. At the
And she
same
just
time
like
Darius
clings
is-
tightly to it.
This is probably about the same time Darius is doing this too. I feel, I think what happens is Darius still does ceremony, but that he doesn't actually perform the spell.
Yeah, and I think you will have to actually complete this goal, but so you just need to like find a way to get 25 GP worth of powdered silver.
Well, and I think that I like making the thing, I like making the figure of Toity, and burying it and having the ceremony. I think it's like part of how Darius is processing.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see this first step in this like atonement process for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard for me to actually do this because I have to get a 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you have a 0 on wisdom.
I have to get a natural 20 to atone.
Yeah.
And if I do that, then my alignment goes back to lawful good. Or I can change my alignment back to lawful good.
Yeah.
Which technically right now I have it set to lawful good, so maybe I've kind of already changed that, but
I mean, I feel like you haven't, right? Like,
you think I'm lawful
yeah,
neutral?
I think you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see this
Mm-hmm.
that Darius has to work at this to like figure it out and like come to terms not only with this but like not descending into darkness where he could after Toity's passing, but rather using this as a reason to climb back out.
And with Toity's passing, and with feeling like he's failed at this, and his friend's dead, and the fact that he's like feels like he's failed failed the old god of death. Because he said be better than I am, and there's like this burden that he's carrying, and that so he's trying to do that as well on top of everything.
Yeah, I want to see all that. Let's
Yeah.
go on a journey with Darius here. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
So
Cool.
should it? Well, yeah, I think this is where I'm going to start, and I think it's going to turn into. I think it's also.
So
going
do you
to
want the
turn-
goal to just be atone?
Yeah, I think what it is, it's going to be a tone, and I think there's like going to be several checklists or like
Okay.
a checklist for.
Yeah, so the first step was come to terms with Toity's passing.
Yeah.
And
so
you
I-
did that.
Yeah. So let me.
Okay. Cool.
Have like little
Um,
sub goals into your goal.
Yeah. So let me see. Come to terms with Toity's passing. And I guess I'll figure the other things out along the way.
Yeah, I'm into it. Super into it. Part of this atonement will be finding money.
Well,
I
I
mean,
might
if
not
you
even
find-
be finding money. Like, I have gold.
Well,
Yeah, but
finding
you're trying to
25
find a
GP
lot
worth
of
of powdered
silver.
silver.
I mean, I feel like Teppan could help you with the powdered silver.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
Basically,
so
we
glad I
just need
switched to
find
jeweler's
silver.
tools.
That was
The
fun.
other-
That was
The
cool.
other thing I was planning on originally having was a disguise kit. I'm like, how is a tabaxi going to disguise themselves? like you're gonna put on like a
You
fake...
could definitely disguise yourself to be another tabaxi, but
Yeah, exactly.
cool. Awesome. All right, so you get 5,000, Darius.
Yay. So we all get
That's
5,000 basically.
Except for
Me,
Raya.
I got 4,000.
Yeah.
Aren't you like way ahead of all of us anyway?
No,
I thought you were. Maybe I remember.
I think you are. I think you're ahead of everyone at least.
but not way
I
ahead.
mean, not way ahead. but
I'm
you
at
are.
100,000, 105,000, 105,000.
Awesome, cool. Good stuff. Well, there you go. That's episode 1 of season 5, episode 47 of the whole thing. I'm pretty excited about where this is going. I think we have a lot of fun, especially now that we got the goals centered. That helps me a lot in knowing what the direction of this arc is going to really look like and what you guys are interested in exploring. Because really, what I want this season to be is very sandbox. I want you guys, like, you have a goal, and you know roughly how you need to accomplish it, but now I'm just going to be like, all right, go accomplish your goals, like, and then you'll have to figure out who you want to find as allies, how you're going to accomplish that, and then I'll just place obstacles in your way, and it'll be a lot of fun.
If
Have
only.
an
Oh,
idea for how we can stop.
Okay, don't say things out loud. Say it in the No Caleb chat.
I know. I'm saying this out loud. I have an idea for how we can stop the dude, and I'm gonna tell you guys my idea and see what you guys think.
I need to think of a second goal now that I found Samuel. I'm like, Ari doesn't have any goals. She's just like so sad.
The goal of like staying with Samuel.
I mean, that kind of goes with get out of my contract with Lord Navarro, though.
Yeah.
I think those are two different things, though.
So what was the one you were just saying?
Oh, I just need to find a second one because Find Samuel is done. So
Right.
I found him. So I'm like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll have to think of it.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it from us here at Terra Nullius LLC. Good to be back, and I'm excited for what the future will bring us. All right. Adios. We out. Bye.